What's up guys, my name is Matt, and anyone that watches my channel regularly knows that I'm not really the news guy or the hype beast type when it comes to content creation for Destiny. While my uploads have been very regular recently and have been consisting of the news and hype towards Destiny 2, there are many things that I haven't covered that I could have. I could have mentioned this Iron Banner gear seen on this hunter and his sword being one-handed. I could have gone deep into the factions and mentioned that each of the three factions we know and love, Future War Cult, New Monarchy, and Dead Orbit, have shown up in the reveal in sneaky ways. I could have covered this first-person image of the Sentinel Titan and the Sentinel Super blocking 2 shots from a golden gun before breaking, or discussed this first-person view of the Arcstrider Hunter and the fact that the most recent This Week at Bungie mentioned the Arcstrider will be playable at E3, as well as countless other topics and generic observations. But I'm aware, and you the viewers are aware, what most of you subscribed for: my projects and efficiency guides. I recently saw a video comparing the Dragon's Breath and the Gjallarhorn. Now this isn't exactly a new topic. Datto and many others have done videos on DPS Theorycrafting, but this particular video and its creator made it seem as though the Dragon's Breath was far superior in terms of DPS when compared to the Gjallarhorn. Now I had this video concept ready and waiting for Destiny 2, but I guess I'll introduce this new series now while we wait for Destiny 2 to arrive. Albeit I didn't want to introduce it by disproving someone else, but if you sub to me, you know I dislike misinformation. I'm gonna set up a few variables. First, I'll be using the Gjallarhorn at 320 light with the rest of my gear at 400, putting me at 390 total light. In addition to this, this will be the perk setup used for the Gjallarhorn. The same goes for the Dragon's Breath, 320 light, all other gear 400, total light at 390 with this perk setup, and everything will be tested on the hard 240 light version of Eye of the Gatelord. So let's first look at the Gjallarhorn. After a couple attempts, the most damage I was able to deal from a single shot of the Gjallarhorn was 17,250 damage. This was from the 542 impact damage, the 7,710 explosion damage, the 14 Wolfpack rounds that did 357 damage, and the 8 Wolfpack rounds that did 500 damage. Now, as I said, this was from a single shot, but I'll get back to this later. Now, let's look at the Dragon's Breath. Again, after a couple attempts, the most damage I was able to deal from a single shot of the Dragon's Breath was 25,209 damage. This was from the combination of 4 separate explosion and impact images, each of which being 2,428, 3,855, 200, and 4,426, followed by 25 ticks from the Napalm perk, each totaling 572 damage. Now initially, this would show some truth behind those saying Dragon's Breath is better. 25,209 damage is 31.57% more damage than 17,250, but I feel there was a manipulation that occurred when using the term DPS, or at the very least a misunderstanding of the term itself, and this leads back to the fact that I mentioned this was from a single shot. DPS, in my understanding, and I believe most people's understanding, is damage per second, and not damage per shot. This is where the misinformation is being portrayed in other videos. Damage per shot has no importance in the grand scheme of things when damaging enemies. So let's break this down a step further and show why the Gjallarhorn is vastly superior in terms of damage per second when compared to the Dragon's Breath. Let's take a look at a side-by-side comparison at the fire rates of the two weapons. In addition, it's important to note the Gjallarhorn has 2 rockets in the chamber and the Dragon's Breath only 1, but also that I'll be using the same gear for both examples, as well as the perk Speed Reload for both weapons. As you can see, I shot 3 shots from both rocket launchers, and as you can see, the Gjallarhorn accomplished all 3 shots in 253 frames. This also takes into account the fact that when actually doing damage, it takes 91 frames to finish, or roughly 3 seconds. So the first 2 shots and reload are accomplished at 162 frames, or 81 frames each, and the final shot 91 frames, to add the additional 10 frames it takes to finish the damage cycle. The Dragon's Breath, however, takes nearly twice as long to take 3 shots and do a full damage cycle at 568 frames. Like the Gjallarhorn, I took into account that when actually doing damage, it takes 266 frames to finish the full damage cycle, which is roughly 8.8 seconds. So the first 2 shots and the first 2 reloads take 302 frames, and the final shot plus a full damage cycle an additional 266 frames. So what does this all mean? This means the Gjallarhorn at an assumed 17,250 damage per shot could fire off all 7 shots totaling 120,750 damage in the same time the Dragon's Breath could, at the assumed best case scenario, 25,209 damage, also assuming the Napalm perk stacks with itself, could shoot 3 shots totaling 75,000 627 damage. This all occurring in 568 frames, or 18.93 seconds. If we round that to a flat 19 seconds, this means the Gjallarhorn does approximately 6,355.26 damage per second, while the Dragon's Breath falls approximately at a measly 3,980.37 damage per second. Now, I'm fully aware this isn't new information, but like I said, I've seen videos stating otherwise and wanted to at least clear this up among my viewers. While per shot, the Dragon's Breath is 31.57% more effective, when it comes to raw damage per second, the Gjallarhorn is vastly better at 37.37% more effective DPS. Now, while I was disproving misinformation, I want to know what you guys think of this type of video. And if you did enjoy it, would you want me to do more of this type of video between now and Destiny 2's launch? Also, if that is the case, leave any suggestions of weapons or even perks you'd like me to test. Any feedback is appreciated down in the comments. So with all that said, I'm of course going to mention the two links in the description. The first link is a link to the Multilux community Discord. I'll be looking for feedback on this video there as well as in the comments, so if you want to discuss or suggest videos, the Discord is the place to do so. And of course, the second link is a link to my Twitch channel, where I'll be streaming Destiny and Destiny 2 content regularly, specifically 2 days a week, but who knows, that might become an even more of a regular thing in the near future. And as always, I want to thank you all for your support. These videos take a long time to make, and your guys' support is what drives me to keep making them. But that's all I have for you guys today, so I'm gonna get out of here, say my name is Matt, and I'll see you guys next time.